Pledge allegiance. You just remain standing for a second. We're going to have a moment of silence for all the police officers throughout our country, of course the victims of 9/11, and the 13 servicemen and women that were killed in Afghanistan. And please also keep in your prayers Miss Alisi, the mother of our Vice President Don Alisi. Keep her in your prayers, please. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. You have a seat. So one of our past presidents, Johnny Wild, he likes to set up this small memorial to the 13 soldiers that were killed in Afghanistan. I believe it's a military tradition. He's setting up one shot of alcohol for the veterans. So we're going to have a toast to all of those 13 servicemen. Do we have any veterans in the audience that would please join us and have a shot on their behalf? Come on up. You're gonna do a shot. If there's more than 13, be our guest. We'll pour more. Thank you very much for your service.
Bro, record kid. That's with you, bro. That's with you? I thought he said,
John, did you want to talk at all? Do you want to talk? Do you want to speak at all? Okay.
Come on, Stevie, get in there.
Past President John Wild would like to say a few words.
Hi. Just a word of why I'm doing this is because it was a tragedy when it happened. And seeing that the anniversary of September 11th is coming up next week, and that we should never forget what happened that day. We should also remember and not forget the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for this country, especially the 13 men and women of our armed forces who lost their lives in a botched exit from Afghanistan by this administration. We exited earlier but forgot that we left behind American citizens and all the people that... Where are we? All right, hold on.
He's having a biting moment.
Leaving that, it left them in a bad situation. These 13 American heroes lost their lives and on their bad decisions. The 13 are, can you just back up a minute, I get the names? First one is Marine Corporal David Lee Espinosa, Marine Sergeant John, get that over, Rosario Pijado, Marine Sergeant Nicole G, Marine Corporal Alberto Sainz, Marine Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmidt, Marine Corporal Hunter Lopez, Marine Corporal Dagan Williams Tyler Page, Marine Lance Corporal Riley McCullum, Army Staff Sergeant Ryan Knaus, Marine Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola, Navy Hospitalman Maxon A.K. May Soriak, and Marine Lance Corporal Kareem Naku. We shall never forget them, even though our country forgets very easy. We do business with the people involved with 9/11, the Saudis. We let them sell us oil and start a pro-golf league that plays in this country on our soil, called the LIV, which originally, nobody knows, was called the Saudi Golf League. LIV is just a Roman word for 54, which is a low score in golf. Go figure that. All right, raise your glasses in memory of the 13 men and women and the rest of our armed forces and first responders who gave their lives for their country. Thank you, and never forget, God bless America.
God bless Floyd.
John, and thank you to everyone that served.
Thank Debbie Dorothy and the
You need me? No, I'm good right now. I'd like to acknowledge a couple of people in the room tonight. Of course, we have our past presidents of the RDNY, Kevin Schroeder, John Warner, Kenny Heed, of course, John Wild. We might start calling him Joe Biden, I don't know. Frank Connolly and Hal Sherman. Jack Freck couldn't make it tonight. He's celebrating his birthday. I'm not even going to dare to figure out which one it is. We have the DEA in the house. President Paul DiGiacomo is here. Paulie. Listen, the RDNY would be nothing without the DEA. A lot of people think we're part of the DEA, but obviously we're just a fraternal organization. But we've had over our 65 plus years, we've had a great working relationship with the DEA, and it's for people like Paul that support us all the time. Thank you, Paul. Past honor recipient Ed Murphy is in the house. Retired Detective Mike Sapricone is in the house. You're going to hear from Mike shortly. He's a retired detective. He's going to be running for candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives in the New York Congressional 3rd District. We have Nicole Zolvich and her team from her law firm. They're an elder attorney law firm. Nicole presented at one of our meetings not too long ago. She's in the back. I believe she got some cards out. Strongly recommend everybody should be speaking to her, no matter how old you are or your folks are, to get your affairs in order, or at least get ready to get them in order. Tonight we have a special guest speaker, Ms. Heidi Felix from LifeVac, over here on the left in the yellow dress. She's going to be giving us a presentation on a life-saving invention. With her is actual inventor, the founder, and the CEO of LifeVac, Mr. Arthur Lee. Thank you for coming. Arthur's been a busy man today. I believe he was on Fox News this morning. All right. You couldn't get Kill Me to show up, huh? You should have. He's a little guy. You could have dragged him. Well, thank you for coming. They're going to make a presentation shortly. This little gadget's amazing. And they're also kind enough to give special pricing for anybody here this evening. And if they didn't have enough kits, we'll make arrangements to get them to you. So the RDNY didn't take the summer off. Past President Jack Freck put together another world-renowned golf outing at the Brookville Country Club. I really don't know how he does it, but each year it's better than the past year. Thanks, Frank, and his committee that puts that together for us every year. The RDNY also had our annual fishing trip on the Celtic Quest out of Port Jefferson. Eddie Ravain and Jack Freck organized that event. We had the largest turnout in the history of our fishing trips, with over 75 people on board. The fish were biting so much that day, the captain had to turn us around in order for his mates to clean up all of the fish in time. I think we had over 1,000 fish caught that day. It was a great day. I'm sorry, but I also left out another guest of ours tonight. We have the wife of retired Detective Tommy Santino, Mary Murphy from Pix 11 News, investigative reporter in the back. As everybody knows, there's no bigger supporter in the news industry than Mary. Thank you for coming tonight, Mary. Tommy, thanks for coming out. And all your friends, Tommy's involved with the Honor Legion. If you have any questions about the Honor Legion, you speak with Tommy. They're getting that thing up and running again. Moving forward, the RDNY is going to be hosting our fall cigar night. The flyers are on your table. It's going to be at the rooftop at Vetros in Howard Beach on October 2nd. I'm anticipating a good evening. We always have a good evening for a cigar event. Hopefully you guys can make it out. Pass the word. Everybody's invited. Friends and family. You don't have to be an RDNY member. Coming out and smoke. Going a little further ahead, on November 8th, we're going to have our monthly meeting. We're going to be honoring newly retired Detective Paul Morrison, who's the Vice President of the DEA. We're going to have that meeting up in the Bronx. Paul Morrison, I know he looks young, but unfortunately he's aging out, and he's going to have to tender his retirement. We'll celebrate his career up at Downey's in November. All right, with that being said, I'm going to introduce Heidi and Arthur. They're going to give us a presentation on Life Act. Then we can eat, and after that we'll have our presentation tonight. Thank you.
Normally I don't even need a microphone because I kind of have a high volume voice, but I know that there's a lot of people in the room here. So I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do for all of us. And I have to say, we're forever in your debt, and I know that it's got to be a really difficult job. And obviously, I don't think anybody really wants to be on the job today, am I right? Shift over here. All right. So, with that being said, I'm Heidi Felix. I'm the Vice President of Sales, and I brought with me the inventor of Life Act. And for those of you who actually love to watch Fox News, you might have seen him this morning on there with Brian Kilmeade. And kind of a funny story because Arthur and Brian played soccer together when they were younger. And Brian's older brother was their coach. So they have a whole history. And I have to say, the wonderful thing is that he gives us an audience with millions of people when we have an opportunity to be on his show. So I just want to say thank you to Arthur for being here because it's a very long day for him. And I just wanted to also say he didn't want to miss it because I said, I'm presenting to retired detectives from the NYPD. He goes, can I come? I said, you are welcome to come. I always love having you with me. So how many of you have heard about Life Act? I love it. Well, I will tell our Chief Marketing Officer, Laura, who will be very happy to hear that. And one of the things that we're very passionate about is raising awareness, right? I might be the VP of Sales, but the thing that I am the most proud of, we have saved 1,264 lives. Amazing, right? Because of this man right here. So proud. Now the crazy part of that is, a lot of people go, well, you know what, I don't have kids, I don't need one of those. Do you think you or I could choke today? All of us more mature adults? Well, 805 children are alive today, but I did say 1,264. So plenty of adults have choking incidents, and we are just so proud to be here, just to be able to share this information with you so you can protect your own families. Now, how many of you reside in Nassau County? Me too. And guess what? Police Commissioner Pat Ryder deployed Life Act in every single patrol car. We have 4 lives saved by patrol officers, and that's specifically because of Pat Ryder. Very happy. Anybody live in, how about the town of Hempstead? Anybody? Town of Hempstead? Well, the town of Hempstead, and one of our actually former councilmen, who was supposed to be honored this evening, Anthony Esposito, they actually deployed Life Act in all the beaches and all the pools. Why? Because where do people congregate to eat and drink, right? So the town of Hempstead really cared about our safety. Does anybody know anybody from the NYPD? Anybody? Anybody want to help me with that one? Because I would love to be able to talk to them. What I will tell you is that we have thousands of police departments who have deployed Life Act. Right around the corner, I brought Arthur to one of our facilities, which was the Village of Lake Success, not too far from here, right? And again, thousands and thousands of police officers have Life Act with them. Many of them actually brought it to the department because they bought it for their own personal use, right? How many of you love your family? Anybody? We all love our families, right? So this is actually one of those devices, I don't know, depends on the day, am I right? Okay, I hear you. But one of the things that I think is my biggest fear, if you've ever witnessed a choking incident, anybody here ever had to respond to a choking incident? You know? Now you're first responders, right? You are trained to do this. If you're a mother or a father who doesn't have any training, how scary those incidents are, right? I had a 2-year-old that choked on a peanut M&M, and I did everything I was trained to do, and I was very scared, I will tell you. I flipped my kid upside down, hung him by his ankles, and I hit him between the shoulder blades. Not protocol, not pretty, but I have a 23-year-old that's alive and well today because I did that. But I will tell you, when I met Arthur Lee, which is such an incredible story in itself, how many of you guys like Shark Tank? Anybody? I love Shark Tank. Well, I happen to be doing a Shark Tank local one here on Long Island, and I sit next to this gentleman who's holding this funny looking thing. I'm like, what do you got there? Plunger? Is that a plunger? He's like, well, yeah, it is. You know, we're gonna save lives. This has got to be 10 years ago. So let me tell you a quick story about Arthur. Arthur was a retired shipping executive. He ran an international company, and he had retired. Sounds familiar? You guys all retired here? You go back to work, right? So Arthur heard a story from one of his friends who was in the ER with his mother going through a series of tests, and he witnessed a choking incident. EMTs, paramedics, and doctors couldn't save this 7-year-old boy who choked on a grape. And Arthur's friend watched this whole thing happen. When he told the story to Arthur, this was a 7-year-old boy who was the same age as Arthur's daughter at the time. And Arthur said, it kept me up at night, Heidi. I kept thinking to myself, what would I do if something happened to my Jackie? So he went out into his garage. Anybody like to fix things? This man could fix anything. So he went out into his garage and he started thinking about, right, you have a plumbing situation, a clogged pipe. Think about the trachea as a clogged pipe if you have a choking incident. So he thought, why not put a plunger, right, and figure out how to reverse engineer it. It sounds simple, not quite so simple, right? So this device actually has a patented one-way valve, so that when you push down on it, instead of forcing something further down in the trachea, it actually suctions at about 300 millimeters of mercury, which is basically, technically, like a gagging, like that whole thing that happens when you start choking. Your body wants to expel a foreign body, right? So this device stimulates the gag reflex. It suctions forceful enough that it can remove Legos, coins, all kinds of crazy things that kids decide to swallow, but choke. If you choke on a steak or a grape or anything, you have to remove the airway obstruction. So this device is being used all across the world. Arthur launched an international company in 2012. So again, this man had retired. He didn't have to do this. But when he got this device working so perfectly, he thought, how dare I save my child and let other children die? Thank the Lord Arthur took the time to create this company. Again, 1,264 lives would have been forever changed had not Arthur Lee made his decision to start this company. And I am just blessed and grateful that he trusted me to manage his sales. So, with that being said, one of the things that we really want you to understand is that this device has interchangeable masks, right? So you have a mask for a pediatric emergency and you have a mask for an adult emergency. We have many people who have actually saved their own lives. If you have a choking incident and you're by yourself, you can't speak, so therefore you can't call 911. So it's important to be able to have this, and you can use this on yourself. Again, we have Good Samaritans saving other people's lives. We're all in a restaurant, right? There was a family out to eat in a restaurant in South Carolina, outside of Columbia. My son went to the University of South Carolina, go Gamecocks. And this family was having breakfast. And the little boy, being precocious, grabbed pancakes off Daddy's plate. He shoved it in his mouth, perfect airway obstruction. It was a ball with syrup and a dry consistency, and this boy started choking. The mother was a PA. She's a pro, right? She's almost like a doctor. She goes into a panic when baby goes unconscious. She screams for help. This entire citizens captured on security camera. And a nurse, a paramedic, and a CPR trainer comes to rescue. 4 pros could not save baby Gabriel. A man dying right behind them in the restaurant goes up to his car, grabs the travel kit and is sitting in his car for 5 years and saved the baby's life. You can't make this up. 25 million people have watched this video. So there's a lot of people who don't know about like that because baby Gabe is alive and well. Thank the Lord for Major Heller. Just recently, we celebrated over 1,000 lives saved, and that was just in June. We actually brought the families together, all these lives that we saved, and Deborah Norville gave us an audience on Inside Edition. We were featured 5 times on Inside Edition, and she got the opportunity to meet some of the people that were saved as a result of her stories. Pretty incredible. As well, one of the things that I'd like to point out is that we truly are so grateful for the audience today, right? Because all of you will go home hopefully and share your stories, right? Even if you don't decide to purchase it, it's perfectly fine. This is a price that only costs $70. If you can't see the value of that $70 and save your life, we're doing it for you for $50 because we believe so much in what we've done our way to give you a little break, right? So that you can actually purchase the units and not worry about the financial cost of it. But again, we're so proud to be here, so grateful for the time that you guys have given us. And I don't want to waste a lot of your time. I am just so happy that all of you are here today. And I just want to say thank you again for what you do. And let us know if you have any questions. I can do demos for you. We have some great videos. If you want to go on to our website, it's lifeapp.net. And one thing that I need to caution you about, anyway, one of the things I just wanted you also to know is that it is made here in the United States, right in Wisconsin. We're in Suffolk County, and that's where we manufacture the device. There are devices that are being manufactured in China. There are counterfeit devices that are not our device. Very important point. So if you're not buying it directly from LifeApp or one of our authorized dealers, you may potentially not be getting an actual official LifeApp device. And we've actually been doing a lot of studies in buying these devices that look like our device. They don't suction until you have a problem when you have a choking emergency. They could cause a death. So one of the reasons why we wanted to come on today is to caution all of you to make sure you come to us and we will show you what a real official LifeApp looks like. So thank you again for your time. Really excited to be here. I'm calling CS.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Thank you, Heidi. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the food is ready. Why don't you guys eat and buy a life vac, and then we'll continue our program after dinner. Thank you. So Mike Saperconi is going to graciously accept Artie. Thank you. I'll read the scripture quickly. Present to Anthony D'Esposito, Artie. This award, the highest honor the RDNY bestows on an individual, is being presented this day, September 6, 2023, to Anthony D'Esposito, from top to Congressmen. And then it just goes on to say a lot of nice stuff about Anthony.
Garrett, come on up here.
Garrett, come on.
Another picture.
So once again, Mike Saperconi, good friend of the RDNY, will speak a little bit about Anthony and then a little bit about his future. Thanks.
Thanks everybody here. It's great to be here. Congressman D'Esposito is extremely upset. He had planned to get home this morning to be able to be here with you today, but some guy, President Horowitz or something from Israel, asked him if he'd spend a couple hours and have breakfast with him this morning. So he got kind of tied up there. So Anthony's very disappointed. Horowitz is the name, right? Horowitz. So Anthony elected in 2022 to New York Congressional District 4. A very tough race Anthony fought and an amazing victory. And we were able to change Long Island and change the House of Representatives because of your help and everyone's help in Long Island to get 4 Republicans elected in the House of Representatives. And that's the reason the House turned. But Anthony has been very much involved as a detective, as a police officer in 7-3, and then on his step up to Congress when he was the councilman in the town of Hempstead. Now Anthony chairs the Emergency Management and Technology Committee in the United States Congress. He's also the sponsor of the Law Enforcement FOIL of Rights bill that passed in the House in May. And that was a big deal. And it passed right around the time when we have our law enforcement things down in May. It was a big deal for Anthony to push this forward. He's the founder of the First Responders Caucus. And as Rich had mentioned, Anthony was a volunteer fireman in Island Park for probably more than half his life. Very important to Anthony to take on the fight of first responders, not just law enforcement, but also EMTs and EMSs. Anthony is the co-lead in the 9/11 Responder and Survivor Health Fund Connection Act. Very important act to make sure that we keep funding our 9/11 survivors and their widows and their families. Now, Anthony was in the 7-3 his entire career. I'm an old transit guy, so I moved around a little bit, and then when we had that hostile takeover, when we merged with you guys, I don't remember exactly where I wound up for a while. But to be in the same house for that long and then get a shield out of there, it's a pretty big deal. Again, Garrett Gordon is Anthony's chief of developer and law enforcement, office of director. And very happy to be here for Anthony. Again, Anthony's very sorry to be here. But he's up again in 2024. He's running for Congressional District number 4, the South Shore of Long Island. Very important you get out there and vote. You look up Anthony, you follow him and what he does, and you help him a little bit. He needs your help, as we all do. So again, Anthony says thank you very much. He's very upset for not being here. He's going to show up at your next meeting, I'm sure, when he gets back from D.C. and from Israel. But I want to thank everybody for this great award. He's very proud of it. Thank you. So I'll steal 2 minutes of your time, okay? Because I like to talk, so I'll just talk briefly, okay? If you didn't know. So I did 20 years on the job. I'm out 23 years. I'm an old transit guy, then part of the merge. I retired as a first grader in the 114 squad back in 2000. And right before 9/11, I got out, and I opened up a company, Squad Security. Pretty big company. It's a global company. I have over 600 retired and active cops who work for me in the United States, and about 300 retired military people in Europe. I've had that company for 32 years. I just recently sold it, and I'm looking for something to do. My 5 kids are all out of the house. My wife's a Supreme Court Justice in Nassau County, and I can't play golf every day. So I decided to get a little bit involved because I'm a little tired of what's going on the left, a little tired of what's going on the right, and I decided to put my name in the mix for the United States Congress. I'm running against George Santos. That's my district. So you might be familiar with that. That's New York Congressional District 3. That doesn't make a lot of sense to people, but when I tell them I'm running for the Santos seat, everybody understands that. So I think it's important. I'm not a politician, nor was Anthony a politician, but I think being a New York City detective for all those years, running a business, a successful business, and selling it, I think I'm able to use common sense and bring people together. So I need your support. MikeSapriconiforcongress.com. I hand out some cards. You have my website. Anything you guys can do, you've always been good to me. This job has always been good to me. So I appreciate your help, and I'm going to beat Santos. That's easy. But I'm going to beat anybody else they throw at me in the next election. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. First of all, thanks for accepting Anthony and those kind words for Anthony. And good luck in your run. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, it's we got to get out and vote. We got to get our families and friends out to vote. And we got to get the right people in office. And I just think we need to support our fellow law enforcement officers that are running wherever they're running, whatever elected official it is, whether it's school board or congressman or anywhere, we got to get them in. All right, we're just about to wrap up. I have one more presentation I'd like to do tonight. If I could get as many of my board officers that are here tonight to come and join me up on the podium, I'd appreciate that. Any of my board officers that are busy, just come around. I don't bite. I hope not. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. No.
Give it to him like a tip.
So, ladies and gentlemen, last month, upstate New York was hit with some extreme weather, and one evening it rained so much that it caused devastating damage to many people's homes and businesses. One of those people is our very own photographer, Jeff Crianza. Jeff has been taking pictures for the RDNY for the past couple of years so that we can post quality pictures on our website and Facebook page. Before that, we relied on people emailing us their cell phone pictures. Needless to say, Jeff is better. Jeff sustained, well, a lot of damage in his house. We keep his personal finances, his business. From floodwaters last month, and he's been arguing with his insurance company ever since. In the spirit of what the RDNY stands for, looking after our own, the RDNY would like to make a small donation to Jeff and his family of $500. It might not be much, Jeff, but when things get frustrating and you feel overwhelmed, maybe you can at least take your family out for a nice dinner and take your mind off of the house for the evening. Good luck and thank you for everything you do for the RDNY.
Thank you, guys. God bless you, brother.
There's no crime if you're RDNY.
Rich, watch the wine.
God bless you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Bless you. You and your family.
Jeff Chris down in Florida sends his regards also. We have one of our board members that does our website and everything electronic emails who lives down in Florida. Oh, what is that? A cell phone you can take a picture of? Didn't we just have this conversation? This is high tech. Well, you're using it.
This is his cell phone. This might work. You know, if the camera will want to get in there.
Everybody, the whole board, however it can fit. I don't want mine.
I'm taller than you.
Get it. He's got a take a little of the pressure off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a 50-50. So it's 300 Donato. It's on the
Split it or you want
white on the red ticket. Everyone wants to take out their red ticket. 902-9880. Once again, 902-9880. Anybody? Is it Esposito in Israel? 902-9880.
What is it, 902-9880?
9880. Mr. Beal. Congratulations, sir.
Where's,
Listen, our board member, John Peel, just donated his $300 50-50 winnings to Jeff. Well, thank you very much. All right, one more. Heidi and Arthur just told me they'd like to donate a light back, but you have to choke first. So come on, stop shoving some cannolis down your throat. All right, Heidi, want to pick it out for us?
Who's feeling lucky? That's a lot of tickets.
Just pick
Oh
one.
my God.
9886. 9886. What do we got? 9886. There we go, in the back. Once again, Heidi and Arthur, thank you very much. Thank you very much for presenting and coming out and joining us. We're not done. We have an open bar till 9:30. We're gonna smoke some cigars and drink some booze. So thanks again, everybody, for coming out. I hope to see a lot of you October 2nd for our cigar event. Thank you. Have a great night and stay home.